Welcome so much to have you, and thank you for being with us. And remember that this program, it outlines, it's always beyond the headlines. We always here to see what has been happening, trying to pick the main topics and trying to analyze them, trying to make sure that you understand what has been happening. And remember that you can always give us your view and your comments so that now we can, advise each other. So, Mr. Kim.
Yes.
Karibu.
Asante sana.
Yes.
Nafurahia sana kuwa katika studio za Mizpah this Monday morning. I'm feeling delighted. It is Eid Adha. So happy Eid Adha to all our listeners and our viewers wherever they are in the county, in the country, and even outside the country.
Yes.
We're very delighted. God is really taking us through. The weather has been good.
Okay.
Farmers are expecting a bumper harvest, especially when it comes to maize and beans. We have had adequate rains, and it can't go unnoticed.
Okay.
And for this, we thank our God. We also thank Him for the bread of life today. We are alive and kicking.
Yes.
We are healthy.
Yes.
With a few concerns here and there.
Yeah.
So we thank our God.
Yes.
Over the weekend, I was in not weekend, actually the day before yesterday. I was in Rongai. We were burying some 25-year-old boy who was the breadwinner for that particular family. We really mourn and console with the family. And we pray for our road users to be keen on our roads. He died of a road accident. And our roads are really claiming lives. We pray to our God for safety. But as we pray to God, safety begins with each and everyone. So we appeal to our drivers. Want to drive when they are sober, not to get to the roads when they are not fully trained. These days unashika steering, ukishajua mambo mawili matatu wewe uko kwa barabara tayari, and you are carrying passengers, you are carrying lives. I think it's high time that the government got serious with some of these road checks. Road check is kwetu ni kafije ka askari. It's a very bad kind of culture. However, we are happy with the security organs in our county. I was happy to see a number of criminals get arrested. I don't know where they had come from. I saw all the names are from Migori, Kuria, and the like. So we are actually harboring foreigners in our county who are making our county insecure. It's time they got dealt with. I actually didn't feel good that an askari, an officer was fallen down. And there was no life lost. I was expecting that during the exchange, if you bring us down, we bring all of you down. we'll be celebrating if we'll be burying them on the coming Thursday. Criminals should not be spared. But again, we are talking about criminals, we are talking about security, but our security organs are concentrating elsewhere. We had a lady, I will call her Her Excellency Rose Jerry.
Yeah, so these are the county updates, the Nakuru county updates.
Yes. Rose Jerry is in the national outlook. So we are expecting to have more concentration of security where criminals are, where criminal activities are. Don't concentrate with the arresting of a young lady who is very knowledgeable in matters IT and the like. Again, in our county here, we had a TikToker. Millie, is it Millie Doc? Yeah. Millie Doc has been through toxic relationships. She's been through depression. She's been through kind of relationship abuse. She's been through GBV, and finally she rested. Unfortunately, she had predicted that she would not see December, and I really do not know what was going through her, because sisi ambao ni mashabiki wake, we really loved her content. She's one of the people around and within TikTok who cheer you the whole day with their content and their stories. But suddenly we lost her. We are appealing. I've seen the women rep for Nairobi, Esther Passaris, appeal to the government and the authorities to get down to the cause of her death, because we shouldn't be losing such young lives the way we have lost Millie. Bwana Kemodho, I bring you greetings from Majoro. Engineer Gaho, Engineer Menu Gaho once took me to some friends of his in Joro, where we were hosted by a family, Mr. Kiriro's family. The sons had a business in the transport sector, going by the name Transport Africa. It's it's a huge transport business.
Yes.
So they told me, once you get to Mizpah, make sure you greet that guy who is ever smiling.
Yes.
Very good.
Thank you so much. And for giving us the the updates, the local and also the the national updates. Speaking of the issue of security.
Yes.
And starting with the county, kumekuwa na some insecurities.
Yes.
And this week tumeona kulikuwa na some goons in town. Rungus. What are they doing there?
I don't know. I saw some street boys carrying all sorts of crude weapons running up and down. I think the level of insecurity is being boosted by joblessness, the kind of hardships that people are going through, because it happens especially in the evenings around the Naivas supermarket and along Kenyatta Avenue. You'll find people coming with their shoppings outside the supermarket, and all of them are snatched. So I think I don't know what needs to be done, but I want to believe that it's until we take good interest in our factories and industries. That's the only time we are going to curb this kind of growing insecurity. Because these young men, young families need something to, need somewhere to do something, engage in meaningfully, earn a living, and that is the only way that we can get them out of these calamities, the kind of insecurity that we are experiencing currently. And it's not only in Nakuru. Look at the numbers that we dispatch from our colleges, dispatch numbers from our universities,
numbers,
and we ask ourselves, do we have the capability of absorbing all of them into the job market? If not, where are they going? These are the same criminals we are getting into lodgings, developing ways and means of creating insecurity so that they can earn a living, snatching valuables from individuals. I saw the other day when the president was having was it Madaraka celebrations in Homa Bay. Several phones had been stolen when the residents were getting into the stadium. And even the county commissioner had to announce that the DCI had fallen some of them and had got recovered some of the stolen items. These are things that we should not be hearing from our country. I believe we are a proud country, and our pride should remain. Currently in East Africa, we are leading with not so good news. Not so good news. We need to really change our culture.
But something needs to be done, eh? Something from our leaders, and also from the issue of security. Now, the issue to do with security, imekuwa na a lot of issues. Recently, nimeona that is kuna senator, Seragei alikuwa amesema, that is now high time now we start rethinking of the CS for interior. I actually heard him saying that now he should be, taken back to sports. So it means that there is a loophole somewhere, because recently we have seen kumekuwa a lot of insecurities, because it's very unfair. Despite hata kama tumekuwa ile loophole ya the work ratio, the same times we also need security. Because kama how goons tuliona ilikuwa broad daylight, wako na rungus and everything, there was no security, people walikuwa
you wonder where the police officers were.
So it means that something needs to be done, and especially in Nakuru, kwa sababu hii issue ilikuwa imekwisha sana.
That is it.
But of late tumekuwa tukiangalia in the in the news, in the newspapers, guns wanaenda pale, mtu anafunga kazi yake, mambo inafanyika. Hii issue ilikuwa kitambo lakini ikakwisha.
That is it.
So something needs to be done.
I actually remember when we were doing our madamano and Raila Amolo Odinga immediately after the elections in 2023, and we could not move an inch before the police officers could come to us. So I was wondering, we had a whole hour of goons taking charge of our CBD.
So
that's unheard of. Yet when you look at on the other side, Rose Jerry is being arrested on a Friday, tormented over the weekend. This lady should replace Bwana Kafoko as the IT minister. Why are you harassing such a genius?
So people want
in the next government, if I was to become the president, I would hire Rose Jerry to be my minister in charge of IT. Let's not harass young brains. Let's harness their knowledge. Let's cultivate this kind of display. She was making public participation accessible, more meaningful. He had actually segmented the various aspects that are there in the finance bill 2025 2026,
yes,
making it easier for Kenyans to digest it and to respond to issues. If we are hindering such knowledge dispensation, then what kind of a country are we running? Because I would expect the government should actually encourage several of such. Actually, in every county we should have such, so that all the issues that are likely to spark kind of displeasure like we had in the previous years are tackled before time. And the platform that was created by Rose Jerry is one that should be piloted, adopted across the entire country. And kudos, Jerry, wherever you are.
Could you say that also as security forces they are afraid of the technology?
Certainly, yes. Because what crime did Jerry
she was
commit,
just
honestly
doing the awareness to the people, making it easy.
Does she scare you with her knowledge? Then close down schools if you don't need knowledge then.
Because
all along we've been saying that we need to sharpen our skills. Rose Jerry happens to have well sharpened skills. You don't just wake up, create a website, understand the finance bill, segment it, digest it, and bring it to the level of Wanjiko's understanding for the purposes of acceptability. She's not doing this so that people can reject finance bill.
She did it for free, by the way.
And she did it for free.
Yes.
Actually, when the government is coming up with they call them what? The presidential awards.
Yes.
I expect Rose Jerry to be awarded, not the Githeri media, that the Githeri people that we have been seeing awarded there before.
I think it has time that they need to ask themselves, how many Jerrys do we have?
Exactly. And do they need to fish for them? Because, and if they are unable to fish for them, Jerry will do it for them.
Because you remember, like the other financial year, tulikuwa tumeona even people were translating it to the mother tongue language.
Exactly.
Doing for free.
We make it palatable to Wajiko. Yes. Wajiko needs to understand what is this giant that was there in June 25, the year 2024. We need to come up with. We need to digest this giant, so that by the time Bahati is done with the reading our budget, we do not expect our youth to go back to the streets. We expect them now to go and narrate to their parents that yes, this adjustment has been made, this adjustment has been made, and the finance bill that we have is now largely acceptable among us Kenyans. But when you start harassing somebody who is shining a light into the finance bill, we start doubting it even before its inception.
I think now they should now try to put the effort where it is necessary needed.
Definitely.
Because we need now this effort now to see now the gangs are being
concentrate on killing those gangsters. We don't need them paraded in courts.
Yeah, they are given guns, they are terrorizing people, make it not easy now for business people. In fact, hata inabidi saa zingine watu wanafunga kazi mapema.
That is it.
So it is also making our economy iende chini. So they need now to find their own ways.
That is it.
Instead of now trying to intimidate people. Because we have so many graduates.
That is it.
Each and every year. So where do you expect them to go?
They need to come up with such creativities like Jerry has done.
And the only online platform ndio ambayo watu wengi wanaenda kuiventure.
That is it.
So and we need so many people kama wale.
Exactly.
Because we need more civic education to our people. Our people need to be educated, and especially right now pia tunalekea in the same year kama what happened the other year, mambo ya finance bill.
That is it.
Yes.
And Bwana Kimotho, I think that's why when Kibaki came up with the free education, this is what he expected, that there will come a time in the country called Kenya, where every youth, every male youth, every female youth will have come up to standard of being as creative, as innovative as Rose Jerry is.
And according to her age.
Yes.
So she must have passed through the free education.
Definitely. These are the fruits, these are the sweet fruits of free and affordable education system in Kenya. Unfortunately, that's now coming to a collapse. We are going back to paying for our school fees.
It's very unfortunate because especially now this program was well laid out by the former president.
That is it.
Since 2003 imekuwa ikiwa mzuri. Parents now they are assured that that is mtoto wao akienda shule pale, everything is
supposed to take care of their meals and
very minimal things,
the uniforms.
What will happen, because if now the government will slash the examination fee, And tukaona now the CS also trying now to justify, you know, that, trying to say that they need to come up with a mechanism of trying to see who they can pay for and who is, you know, the person who is not capable to be paid for, who is capable.
So they want to start now discriminating. Yet when they are doing their empowerments, whatever they are calling empowerments, we've not heard them say that there is no money for beans to distribute within Mount Kenya. There is no shortage of rice to distribute within their vote poor areas. Why is this government not prioritizing the right things? We did not expect anybody to get back to the kind of expensive education that we had prior to free primary and secondary education offered by Mwai Kibaki. If anything, why are we killing his dream? If really we honored Mwai Kibaki, let us cultivate, let us go on with whatever he brought to this country.
And this dream, it was a vision 2030.
That is it.
So we are not yet there.
Exactly.
And all those people who are in government, they were part and parcel
of that particular government.
All of them.
Now they are telling us that they have insufficient funds.
How?
Kibaki had a projection of several years to come.
Yes.
He did not just wake up from a dream and offer us free primary education. No. And look at the time frame. Kibaki was campaigning in 2002, but in January 2003, he had already implemented the free education. Where are we retracting? Why are we going back? Why are we retrogressive? I think we have prioritized things that are not of importance to our country and concentrated on things that are just meant for PR and political expediencies.
I think it's high time then they need now to do prioritization of issues.
That is it.
Things to do with health. Education,
that
security.
Those are not things to joke around with. And I had the opposition leader, the current opposition leader currently,
the current,
calling members of parliament fools. That was a very unfortunate remark, because and the only reason he attaches to calling them fools is because they are following the President William Ruto.
They're not able to make their sound mind decision.
I saw him move around the entire country campaigning for some of these MPs. Again, it's some that we had in the Jubilee, and we thought Jubilee had the real minds. But why midway call them fools? They had an engagement with the president and the leadership of this particular country, one that does not expire in 2 years. So they have to go full stretch, they have to go full term. And then it's a little bit encouraging to see some of the MPs, some of the leadership of the country, the elected leaders, coming together, relooking at their priority areas. I saw the president in Siaya the other day, and he met the MPs, he met the governor, he met the leadership of Siaya, and they looked at what they had in the priority phase. They had to reprioritize the current engagements and look at what future do they expect to have in Siaya. I expect the same to be replicated across the entire country. And it's unfortunate that is happening in Siaya, yet in Mount Kenya, MPs are being called fools. Why call them fools? I encourage them to meet the leadership of the country. We are not saying that we kneel down and beg, because our Constitution 2010 requires us to devolve funds and resources to the grassroots. But it adds value when they keep meeting and relooking at their priorities. Maybe 2 years down the line, our priority number one was roads. But currently, our priority number one now is education. They need to keep relooking into these particular aspects, because again, life is dynamic. Whatever was a priority yesterday is not a priority today. What was not a priority yesterday is a priority today. But like you've said, education, health, those are not. Agriculture is the backbone of our country, of the economy of our country. I was happy to hear James Orengo not mention broad-based government when the president visited, but he was very categorical on the blue economy and on agriculture. I was mesmerized to hear Orengo remind the country that actually Siaya used to grow cotton, that Siaya used to do coffee. These are the things that we need to till back to and make sure that we cultivate them, we regrow them. Remember, we had a factory by the name Kikomi. We need to go back and industrialize so that we can absorb the numbers that are coming from our colleges and universities.
But speaking on that statement, I think that, maybe there might be a loophole, because recently we saw that like James Orengo said that it is not you don't need to bow down to somebody in order for you to be given something.
Definitely.
Yet yesterday now he led a delegation to State House, and there was a list of the memorandum of what they were able to discuss. But I think it's something that needs to be discussed.
Exactly.
Because we saw the MP walienda wakaslash the maintenance levy, and the court ikarudisha to the county.
Yes.
Right now pia tuko na issue kupile kotini ya mambo ya NGCDF.
That is it.
The MPs now want now to bring it back. And also pia kuna the Senate levy.
Yes.
Na pia kuna the GAF ambayo iko pale. I think it's high time that you know these institutions, they need to be empowered independently.
That is it.
So that despite of whoever now is the president, the money that has been allocated to the MCA,
it will still get to that particular ward.
The MCA will not need to bow down to the governor.
That is it.
The governor will not need to bow down now to the national government.
That is it.
So that, you know, that is the only way.
Exactly. And again, I've never had Didi Nyoro, when he was the budget chair, kneel down to call for a resource allocation to his constituency. I saw Sam Matandi almost kneeling down, telling the president, no, we need more money for roads. You are the budget chair, and you are not only serving Siaya, you're not only serving Nyanza. We did not hear Didi Nyoro, when he was the budget chair, talk about Kiharu. He was talking about the entire country. And it was great that we had a budget chair who had the focus of the entire country, and who has ambitions to lead this country in the future, so that you don't just concentrate on a village, you don't just concentrate on one constituency, one county, like we are already seeing happening at the Sam Matandi. But hopefully along the way he will get aware of the scope of work. It's not just limited to Luo Nyanza.
Yes.
But again, on the same note, there are things I could not agree with. They talked about making 16 markets in Siaya, and I kept wondering, what will those markets be dealing with? Yes, we require our women, the mama bogas, our border borders, to be under good shades, under good clean environments. But I'm wondering, what shall we be selling in those structures, so that we don't just litter the entire town, the entire county with the markets selling nothing, with the markets with no traders, with the markets that will just be turned into pool table playing areas, that playing areas, border sheds and the like. We need to first of all develop, like the Sia governor was talking about, let's improve our blue economy. Let's have enough fish to sell in those markets. Let's get back to our coffee growing, so that we can use those markets again to sell our coffee beans. I think we need to prioritize, but be transformative in our deliberations and in our planning.
So I think something needs to be done there.
Sure.
And so that now you can see it. You don't need now to beg for somebody.
True.
In order now for you to be given what is right for you as now.
Exactly.
Going back now to a bit of politics. We saw that the deputy president visited Ukambani.
Yes.
And then now they are trying now to some of the areas. Nasikia wakiguza pale Kalonzo.
Yes.
You know, trying now to their people that you know, their leader, their regional leader there is being misled.
Exactly.
So pia now could they say also pia now wanajipanga ama pia now wanajaribu kuinfiltrate where now the so called opposition leaders are.
That we expect that to continue from now onwards, Bwana Kimotho, because we have a leadership that is concentrating more of remaining in power without necessarily meeting their promises to Kenyans. I saw the entire government team swing into action into Kalonzo's backyard, possibly to try and sweet talk and lure him into government. It is good if it is going to bring resources to bring fruition of the promises they have made to the people of Ukambani. But don't just go there for purposes of just pulling Kalonzo out of his team of opposition. And the current opposition that we have in the country today is not actually the leadership. Actually, the opposition is already there. all that they are gearing towards is to see who is this one man, who is this one woman that we will stage against the current leadership. That's why you are hearing about issues of terms. Others are saying one term, quarter term, and all that. This is not the right time to hear about terms.
Yes,
it's the time to hear about how much of the promises we made to Kenyans that we have fulfilled. Go to Kimani. If you promised water there, let's have water. If you say that they will no longer depend on donor foods and the food grants, let's bring that to an end.
Another load has been, imeongezeka kwa opposition. Matiang'i.
Yes, Matiang'i has resigned from the World Bank job. And this is not a joker. Matiang'i is a go-getter. Matiang'i is huyu atafagia wote. From what I see, from what I hear, I expect a lot of energy, a lot of invigoration of the camp of the opposition camp when Matiang'i settles onto his real campaigns. And this is my man. Personally, this is my man. I'm not waiting anymore to have changes. And I have known him to be a performer. I've known him sasa mnamaliza free prep.
It's very unfair.
This is the guy who was pushing Kibaki's wheel. I expect him to come back so that we can resume free education.
Thank you so much. So today tumekuwa na very so much interesting topics. I hope our viewers wameweza understand na wameweza kuangalia kuelewa ni mambo yapi ambayo yako pale. So it is always good, also to be listening to our news. Grab your copy, angalia pale. Don't just sit there. It is your nation. It is your nation. Take charge of it. So salimia watu, waambie kwaheri.
Watu nitawaambia ni wasikizaji na watazamaji wa Mizpah TV. Nimefurahi sana kuwa nanyi asubuhi ya leo, and receive other greetings from PK Foundation, Peter Karaoke of PK Foundation, and from Mary Justus Manabe. Yes, happy Eid Adha.
Thank you so much, our viewers. This was Beyond the Headlines. See you next time. Thank you.
Asante.